I don't know where I'm going down into, but let's find out in a second. So really,
the Amsterdam steps. Amsterdam steps.
and your head.
You have to watch your head down. And inside here is all stalactites. It's all meant to touch and to go in there. Also, you have to watch your head down inside this place.
And what else do we need to know?
Not so much, except after it's going to get really dark down here. Because half this place is natural. You see that box? It's about 500 kilos of natural white crystals.
Oh, okay.
All over the world.
This one down here?
After this, all of this place is going to get dark. When you're all finished in that environment, all my paint gets turned off. Every light gets turned off. In there go two different types of UV, long wave and short wave UV. And this is a picture of these rocks inside this box. On the cover of my book, that's what they're going to look like under UV lamps. Those are those rocks over there. So everything over here that's natural, artwork, crystals, common stuff, it's all going to go on the UV, and it's all going to come the same colors like this paint. And the reason you're going to see these rocks down here, this guy over here on the right side, when he was 19 years old, a long time ago, 1933 in Berkeley, he crushed up those white rocks, he added eye drops and wood varnish, and those ideas, he invented all that paint over there. So these are the Daygrove brothers. He was 17, he was 19 originally. That's why all these rocks are down here, because everything about that paint comes originally out of that box over there. It just has to be in the absolute dark, and you need long wave and short wave UV, and then it comes out colors like this. A little hard to believe, they're all natural, they come from all over the world. The first fluorescent minerals from the Himalayas are right behind you. This one here, and those three I brought from 4,300 meters from Gomukha, the source of the Ganga. We went up there 3 times by the Tibetan border, but that's where those come from. But these come from all over the world, everywhere from New Jersey to Sweden to India to Greenland. They're just rocks.
Collected by you.
Collected by me.
Have you been to Iceland anytime?
No, I've never been there. That's a very special geological spot.
I've seen
go
like
skin diving inside the vault of the earth. Not just walking, but you can actually swim in there now. So it's separated so far in the last 20 years that they have snorkeling in there. So it's amazing. But some of them I haven't collected about like these. These only come from the bottom of Greenland, and I'm never going to Greenland. I'm not a geologist, I'm an artist. I make that over there. I love these crystals. But like I said, I'm not a geologist, so I don't go to Greenland for any reason. I go to places like India, Haridwar, and then I collect fluorescent minerals. That's a much nicer place, you know. But these things are all crystals. This is the rarest. Up on the wall, this gray artwork. These are all going to come out the same colors like my paint. A long time ago in the 1950s, real patient people crushed these rocks up in New Jersey, and they put them down with tweezers, glue, and cement. So everything up here that's white, that's artwork, is all going to come out like my paint. Come down here 1 second, you can get a good idea. You see these two great things? Come a little lower 1 second. This is what's all around you. These two pieces of art down here were made by the same man that made this one. He was a Japanese man in the 50s in New Jersey, Misura. So you see these little crystals. The white stuff is calcite, it has little manganese. The gray stuff has a manganese and lead. You turn off the light above, you put on 2 UV lamps, and that's how these white rocks come under the black lights. When it's darker, they come out closer to the colors of my paint over there. They're just natural, and when you have a lot of lights on in the room, they're hard to see. You have to put 2 UV lamps very close, you have to turn off all the other lights. If you put them in a club or in a party, that's all you see. That's long wave UV, like everybody knows about from clubs. This is short wave UV. You don't put this in clubs. Most of the strong colors come out with short wave UV. When you turn off the UV, all the energy goes away, the electrons go back to where they were, and they go back to plain white and gray rocks like everything around you. That's how it's all going to come out. It's just hard to see. It's natural. And this is the first paint that was invented in the 30s. Just like the rocks, it was called invisible paint. It was white and colorless. And the same thing happens just when you put on a black light, the color comes out. That's hard to find. 30s, 40s, 50s. This paint we use today came out in the 60s. It's called daylight fluorescent paint. The first stuff was called invisible paint. The modern stuff that I use to make that paint is not these things here. It's these powders. These are very bright. This is modern. The yellow stuff they just started to make 5 years ago in one company in Maryland. It's the strongest phosphorescent substance in the world. It glows for 30 hours when you turn off the lights. It's sold by the gram, these powders. They have europium, rare earth elements inside. That's why they glow 30 hours, not 30 minutes. These are a little bit older, from 10 or 20 years ago. Those will glow between 5 and 12 hours. Those are also sold by the gram. The back ones don't glow at all. They're fluorescent. They don't absorb energy. And all of these things up here are common things people see every day that nobody looks at with UV, like money, basmati rice, glass from the 30s, train tickets, credit cards, seashells. This is a very good example here. You have a California driver's license. You have letters over there. Under the black light, the guy's face comes out second time, twice the size. If the faces don't match up, you have a lot of explaining to do. Mamma mia, you're in trouble. It's all for the place. You know, it started a long time ago with that little round gray box on the left side. 1941, Cleveland, Ohio, invisible fingerprints. And then I moved on to every security thing in the world. Passports, driver's licenses, money, coins, everything that people try to fake is all marked with these invisible inks. You know, it's one of the oldest things with the black lights. So you're going to see a lot of bizarre stuff over here. In there, there's also, it's all meant to touch. On the right side, there's buttons. When you press those buttons, there's minerals changing, music, colors. On the left side, there's 19 lenses. When you look through those windows on the left, there's a natural crystal in the middle from England. From Durham. In the right corner, that whole part with the mirrors is a Shiva lingam. The whole part of the opening is the lingam. The pink part at the bottom that you kneel on is the yoni. Up at the top, all those white peaks are supposed to be the Himalaya. Okay. The whole blue part coming on the left side is supposed to be the Ganga. And up where the Ganga starts in that little black hole, in there there's a 1 centimeter statue of Shiva. I had carved by a sculptor in Baragat just for that little hole, a little bit lower down. It's a little bit lower down where your camera is. Yeah, show them this guy right there. It's supposed to be Kamukara, where the source of the Ganga is. There's a lot of inspiration in here. This whole part in the middle is front is from Hampi. So there's a little tiny statue up there. Hanuman temple inside of that temple right up over here. Yeah. So it's all reactive with the buttons inside there. But that's all completely synthetic. That's plastic. That's paint. All the rest is natural. If you want to see the Hanuman is up over here. This is a little like a mountain in Hampi. You climb about an hour. Up here's the Hanuman temple. If you turn on these lights, the crystals light up. But if you look inside here at the Hanuman, behind the Hanuman, those are the same crystals you just turned on. They're coming up in 3 meters from the bottom. I had that carved by the same sculptor in Baragat. That's the Shiva. This one I bought in Haridwar. That's a crystal Ganesh. There's some caves down there with a Taj Mahal, about 5 centimeters tall. About half this place is inspired by traveling in India. The other half is inspired by all of our life.
Okay. So, that's a big part.
Yeah, no, we travel. Michelle's been traveling in India from the 70s. I've been traveling in India from the 80s. She has an adopted daughter with like 7 children in Kajurao. Hema, when the phone rings at 5 o'clock in the morning, Auntie G's sleeping. It's 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, man. So I always know at 5 o'clock when the phone rings, it's Hema. 100% sure. Nobody else calls at 5 o'clock in the morning. Auntie G. No, Auntie G's sleeping. Call back in 4 hours, If you photograph yourself inside this environment, your face comes the same color as the paint. Go back by that pole, take a picture of your face, and your color will be the exact same color as that paint. It comes out like between red and orange. So it's all emitted light, all the light comes out of the paint. So all the skin picks up this color and you look like you get painted inside there.
Yeah. Electric Ladyland. That's the name of this place.
In India, from Kumkum.
They call you Kumkum?
Yeah, Kumkum Babu. Because when I went to India first time in '87, we lived in a sadhu in Hampi in a cave. And I put the kumkum, the red that ladies put there, and I put wood glue, and I was painting Om on the cave walls. They call me Kumkum Baba.
Kumkum Baba it is.
Mamta Ji.
Okay.
You know this, the ice cream in India, Mamta?
Yeah.
That's what her name is.
Okay.
She got that name a long time before me in the 80s, actually.
But was it just you went there for art, or was it like some kind of spiritual?
No, it was all spiritual story. This is Babaji Santosh Puri. This is probably the first fluorescent mineral demonstration in India. I've read all these rocks. That's me a long time ago. That's 98 during the Kumbh Mela in Haridwar.
Okay.
I've read all these rocks with the black lights of the batteries. Babaji was astounded. Imagine seeing those rocks in the ashram with the batteries. He took the rock over, he turned it over, he looked where the colors went. It was pure as could be. These were, mostly the sadhus and yogis. And then I gave all the rocks to Mandakini, who was 17 years old back then. She lived in the ashram. So between 1998 and the next Kumbh 2010 in Haridwar, she was showing all these minerals to like the yoga white people that came from Europe. And this is the same ashram 12 years later. And then in 2012, Gangapuri, Mataji, they came here from the ashram. So it was really nice. She left her body, Babaji left his body a long time ago in the 2000 Allahabad Kumbh when it's very cold up in Allahabad. A lot of sadhus die after that. They go with just a lungi and they're naked and they go in Allahabad. It's like, it goes down to 0 in Allahabad. It's in January on top of it in the north. It's not like Haridwar. So that he went to Allahabad, he smoked his last chillum. The next day he came back to the ashram and he left his body. But he was a real sadhu. He didn't know how old he was. His parents died when he was about 4, and he was raised by sadhus like real sadhus are raised. So he didn't even know how old he was when he died. He was between 70 and 80, they assume. So I came from New York when I went to India the first time. It was like, what the hell are you mean? You're old. It was like maybe even stronger than when you came to Europe. It was like, I'm still wondering about some of the things after 35 years later. You never forget them. I told my mother some things when I went back to America. She couldn't even talk to me anymore. She had to leave the room.
Okay.
Leave the room.
So heavy.
It was so heavy. Her eyes got big tears came out. She couldn't even listen anymore. She says, I can't listen to you talk anymore. I have to go in the next room and sit down and be calm for 5 minutes. I was like, these are Americans. Everything you heard about Americans, everything you heard about Americans is only half true. It's twice that much. Pagal, they are really Pagal.
Okay.
This is the home of Pagal. That's no joke. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing now?
That was Electric Ladyland, one of the most unique things that I've ever seen before. We have buttons that we can use to... What do the buttons do? They basically change the colors. I guess. If you're going to do something in life, do it as unique as this. Because this is some of the most unique stuff I've ever seen. Check this out. This is a crystal encased in a merry-go-round. And all of these are supposed to be stalactite artwork.
That's all meant to touch on the left side is lenses.
He said if the lights off, it was going to get. He's going to have the lights on.
I guess so, yeah. Let's wait until the lights get turned on.